Hey, Aaron,
Yeah.
what's your beef with old movies? Like, we always have this. We had this intervention a few weeks ago with, me not liking Marvel, and it's like this
we're
groundbreaking
doing
thing that I
this,
don't
huh?
like Marvel, but Aaron doesn't like a movie older than like 1993, which I don't understand.
Biggest thing, especially if you're going like really old, like 50s, 40s, and even into the 60s, is I hate that acting style where they're all like, "Hey, you see, we got to go over here, chap," and I can't like as soon as I
Yeah,
hear
but
that
not
kind of
every
talking.
movie from that era is that.
Pretty much every movie from that era
Ben
is like
Hur,
that. Yeah, it's horrible. They have like this. They all have the same voice in that movie.
Ben Hur,
They
Ben
all
Hur.
have the same voice. It's like this stately, like it's like no one talks like that in real life.
They're all
Maybe they did.
They're
Then.
all Romans, like soldiers and Middle Easterners. Like, what are you saying? They all have the same voice. Can you say that? Tyler might have to cut this out. Like,
Like they do. They like every single like movie back in that time. It's like they talk weird. And I'll be honest, like the
okay,
effects
so
sucks.
fine.
I just can't deal with it. I can't
Tell me
deal
about
with it.
movies from the 70s. Like, is Jaws a movie that they,
Jaws
they
is
all
a movie. Jaws is a good movie. It is
okay.
a good movie. I can get behind that.
Godfather.
I've never seen The Godfather.
Apocalypse Now.
That's the weird, creepy one, right?
Yeah.
Where they're on the river.
Yeah.
That one's weird, man. I just don't like that movie in general, just because it's weird.
Full Metal
weird
Jacket.
Never seen it.
Uncle
you
Buck.
gotta watch that.
Uncle Buck's funny.
Okay.
Wait, no, is that 70s? No,
it's 80s. It's 80s.
Okay, I was gonna say,
No.
that's not 70s.
I will give you that. Like some of the acting from some of those old movies, it's just time period. I think people in 20 years are going to look back on movies from this time period and go, they acted in a certain way or they did a certain thing. There was a
It's
certain
got to be
theme.
cultural.
I even
sure.
think early 2000s.
Their biggest thing is they're going to be like, they made 9 Fast and Furious movies.
I was just going to say that.
That has to die. They have to stop that, man. It's so ludicrous. Did you see the latest trailer?
Mm-hmm.
There's like freaking spaceship cars.
Yeah, I keep seeing clips.
Well, Eric, you posted a picture of that.
Yeah, it's like Fast and Furious 12 is actually the Millennium Falcon. Like,
yeah,
dude,
but let's not get off topic,
sorry.
Aaron. I just don't understand. So, like, 80s movies, The Goonies.
I don't care for it. I do not care for The Goonies.
What?
I don't.
Well, like, why?
I don't think it's bad. I just don't like. I'm not gonna watch it again. So sue me. I don't know.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Boring. Don't like it.
I
don't like cinematography of those movies. I don't like the soundtrack. I hate 80s music in general. Home Alone I can get behind. That's part maybe nostalgia. Wait,
I'm just trying to
90s.
It's
90s.
I think early 90s.
Okay.
Same,
I can get behind Home Alone.
It's the same guy. It's John Hughes. John Hughes did Uncle Buck. He did a lot of any movie shot in Chicago in the 80s and early 90s is John Hughes.
No, Home Alone.
So like
Chris Columbus.
The producer, I believe, is John Hughes.
Yeah, he just directed it. I know that.
But Home Alone I could get behind. I think there's a nostalgia factor with that.
Adventures in Babysitting.
I've never even heard of that.
I've never even seen that. I don't think I've
great one.
Either.
Underrated.
So, I got a question then. So we went back to like the 40s, 50s, and 60s. What's your deal with the Wizard of Oz?
Oh yeah, great point.
So I know we were texting about this the other day, but you guys don't feel creepy when you're like, that movie, like there's something in my soul when I watch that film. It just feels wrong. It just feels creepy.
Well, I mean,
and
you could make the argument that the makeup was like, yeah, it's weird. It's because it's all like real makeup.
I just feel like uncomfortable the entire time I'm watching that movie. And it's almost like with what is it? What's the movie? Is it Willy Wonka or the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Wait. Time out.
That movie's creepy.
The original one or the remake?
The both of them are weird, but I don't like.
You don't like.
Either.
Wait. You don't like Willy Wonka?
Dude, it's weird. There's something about it that disturbs my soul.
See,
I just don't like it.
I could see what you're saying because like both of these movies are like acid trips.
Yeah, and I don't like that. I can't like it. It makes I don't know.
Willy Wonka.
I guess that makes sense.
Willy Wonka is Roald Dahl. That's the guy that wrote. He wrote the books. Willy Wonka. He wrote the Big Friendly Giant and James and the Giant Peach. Those are all Roald Dahl.
James and the Giant Peach. That one is also creepy.
That one is a little weird.
There's something in it. It's almost like in those movies, there's like a sinister undertone that's like there. You can't see it, but it's there, and
I don't
feel
feel that way at all about the Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
I
man, yeah, I
understand
can't
what you
do it.
mean with like that whole scene when they're in the boat, and the story goes that like no one knew that scene except Willy Wonka himself, who's it? Gene Wilder, I think it was.
Yeah.
He's the only one that knew that scene, so all the terrified face were legit. Like I kind of get that, but like I don't know.
Yeah,
Wizard of Oz is very, very, very tame.
I
They
don't
got
know.
witches on brooms. I mean,
It creeps me out. It creeps me out. I don't like it, and I just like the story in itself. I'm just like I don't. It just wasn't. I don't really care. So you're on a yellow brick road. Good for you. Go do it. Like it just. I don't like it. I don't like. I just don't like it.
Okay,
Creeps me out.
I don't
So
get
there
it.
you go.
But I guess we all have niches of things we don't get. Aaron doesn't like older movies. Tyler doesn't like Disney classics, and I don't like Marvel. So
Well,
it is
we
what
all
it
just
is.
don't like
I
things.
never said I didn't like them.
No, that's not true. I could pull it up. You said you don't like Disney classics.
I've never seen any of them.
To be fair, most Disney classics, I don't
No.
really care. I do like Lion King. Lion King, I like.
Aladdin?
I don't like. I never was an Aladdin
I think it's
guy.
pronounced Aladdin.
Yeah, come on, get right, Eric. Come on, we're in 2021. Let's figure this crap out.
It's current year.
All right. Well, that's the point where we jump back into sports. So
All right.
this is the Under 500 podcast.
All right, everybody, welcome back into the Under 500 podcast, and lately the Under 500 / movie podcast. I am Tyler, and as usual, I'm joined by my two buddies. Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's been a crazy freaking day for me. I literally came home like less than an hour ago, showered, ate, and here I am filling up the airwaves.
He didn't even put clothes on. He's naked at the booth right
now. Well, I threw a shirt on, but you don't know what's underneath. So, or from that part down, it's actually a crop top, and I got my hairy stomach fall. All right, that's too much information.
Okay, all right.
And Aaron, how are you doing?
I am clothed and ready to go. So how about we'll just go with that.
Good.
Oh man, goodness, Eric, you almost we almost had to scrap the whole episode. And my hairy stomach hanging out.
All right. Well, I have an icebreaker this week, guys. What city currently has a sports team or a multiplicity of sports teams that could use either less or none at all? / what city deserves a sports team that doesn't currently have one? Like if you were in charge of all sports, how would you rearrange sports teams? Like where would you want to move some teams that you don't feel like belong, and where would you want to move them from?
LA
if
has
you weren't
too many
adding
sports teams.
Ooh, okay. Explain.
LA has way too many sports teams.
It does have a lot, but it is a big city.
How many basketball teams?
Two
basketball teams.
2 football teams.
2 football teams.
And
two baseball teams.
2 baseball teams. 2 hockey teams. Well, I guess.
2 hockey teams. Yeah.
But the San Jose Sharks are. Well, it would be the Kings and who else? In LA.
Is it San Jose Sharks? Aren't they close? Or isn't that still California? Or is that Northern California?
But I mean, if you want to count California, there's still. All right, so let's just go by state. How many basketball teams does California have?
3, I think, right?
3. Yeah.
Clippers, Lakers, and the Warriors.
Yeah.
Okay. How many football teams? Just 2 still.
Yeah, Chargers.
3.
The Raiders left.
49ers.
Niners.
Oh yeah. It used to be 4 with the Raiders.
We did have 4. Yeah.
Okay. 3. Definitely 3 hockey teams or 2 hockey teams.
Yeah.
Definitely 2 baseball teams.
The most populated state in America.
More than 2 baseball teams. 4 baseball teams. The Giants.
Oh my god.
Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the Dodgers, and the Padres.
Wow.
But California also has some of the top populated cities in America too.
Right, but they still have too many.
All right. I mean, hey, it's your opinion. So
I
that's
actually agree. I would move the Chargers, which they're not going to do because they just spent a boatload of money on a stadium. But I would move the Chargers to um, what the heck's the name of that city in Texas?
San Antonio.
San Antonio. I was going
That
to say
is
San
true.
Angelo, which I know is wrong.
I'm surprised San Antonio doesn't have an NFL team.
There was speculation they were going to have one.
They got
and they could probably hold one.
For the NBA, but I am surprised that that they don't have that. And Houston too. I mean, they have the Rockets, but I mean they're big. I guess
Houston
Dallas Cowboys are in Dallas, so that's close-ish.
Houston's projected to be the biggest city in America by 2050. They deserve a football team.
Yeah, they're growing like a ton, right? Oh, they do have the football team. They have the Texans. What am I kidding?
Yeah, they have the Texans, the Astros, and the Rockets. They don't have a hockey team. Hockey's not that big down there, but the Stars, the Dallas Stars,
But they have one of the big three, so they're fine. That's good representation. For me, Milwaukee should, like with the Bucks, you should get rid of that. Like Milwaukee.
So where would you move them to?
Honestly, I think Seattle needs to get an NBA team back.
Oh, that's a good take. I like it.
They had the Supersonics, and then they went to Oklahoma City. It's like, no, like Seattle needs to have a team. So I would move Milwaukee to Seattle.
What about moving them to Las Vegas?
A Vegas team would be interesting. Yeah, it's better than
Milwaukee. It surprises me that it took so long for
an NFL
team, for any major sports teams to play in Vegas.
When did the NHL team go there?
The Knights, I think, went there in like 2014.
Yeah, within the past decade. Can I tell you a team that does not belong and a city that I think deserves a football team? So I think that there are certain cities that you could count as legitimate sports cities. I do not think LA is a legitimate sports city. I think they could get there. I just don't think that's the vibe you get out of LA. I think you get that out of Dallas. I think you get that out of Chicago.
Sure.
Yeah. I think for sure Boston and for sure New York and for sure St. Louis. And they currently do not have a football team.
They should have a football team.
I think that's colossally stupid. Tyler, what do you, you're closer to that. What do you like? Maybe that's wrong for me to assume.
I'm in full agreement with that.
I mean, I'm pretty far away from St. Louis, but
you're closer in comparison than the two of us.
Yes, so that's true. What do they have right now? The Cardinals?
They have a baseball team.
That's it.
Yeah, but they also have the Chiefs. It's the same state, but it is far away. I don't know. It would be cool to see.
They need a football team.
They had a football team in the past. I don't know why they didn't.
You know what team should go there?
The Rams.
The Jaguars.
I want the Rams to go back there. That's true. Yeah, the fact that Jacksonville has a team is absolutely horrendous.
Yeah,
and they struggle too. Like they have to black out all their games locally because no one goes, because no one cares. That should have been that should literally be their clue that hey, maybe we should not be where no one wants to see us. Like if they go to St. Louis, like they're going to have a bigger pop because St. Louis.
What an odd place.
I think there's a lot of speculation about moving Jacksonville to London, which I think would be super cool. But
that's the logistics get so much harder with that.
If you decide as a football player to play in London, you have to pay taxes in Britain and in the United States.
So who
wants to do that? And you have to pay like the average taxes in both. They're like however it works. So like British taxes are high.
Do you make euro or do you make USD?
I'm sure it's. I don't know how it works. Actually, that's a good question.
You have to spend like the money on converting your money and like.
I guarantee you to do that, they'd probably work some deal, or if you played overseas, they'd bump like the team salary cap or something up there to compensate for like the tax, because otherwise players aren't going to want to go.
Yeah.
Or you only play your home games there, but you practice in Jacksonville, and they just fly you out every week, or something stupid like that.
Oof.
Yeah, because I know if I'm a player and it's like I have to pay taxes for both countries, screw that. I'm gonna like fight that tooth and nail, and they're not gonna want that to happen.
With the exception of Jacksonville, though, I can't think of a single area that has a football team that doesn't really deserve one. I do think LA needs a team. Maybe two is a little extreme. But like where there currently is a football team, I feel like there is actually a fan base. Houston has a fan base. Dallas has a fan base. Carolina has a fan base. With the exception of Jacksonville, Tampa Bay has a fan base. Miami has a fan base.
Cleveland.
Boston, Cleveland,
Yeah.
even Cincinnati, yikes, has a fan base.
I know,
You know,
that was
like,
the only one I was like, but no, that deserves it. New Orleans, Tampa Bay.
if you took the team out of Cincinnati, there would be riots in the street.
Oh yeah, no, there would. They're diehard, man. Which I respect. I respect that.
Any
They're-
baseball
must be
teams,
tough being
Tyler?
a Bengals fan.
I have a baseball team.
Any baseball teams that shouldn't have, like, or should move?
Yes.
Um,
Or I think a city that deserves another shot.
what's yours?
Was it Quebec? Montreal?
Oh, the Expos.
The Expos. I think they deserve another shot. I think we need another team up there.
I mean, why? I mean, I don't even know why they shut down in the first, or they moved. They didn't even move, did they?
Yeah, they moved. They became the Capitals.
Oh, the
Nationals?
Nationals.
Yeah.
That was really.
Yep. Yep.
I didn't know that.
I also think the Buffalo Sabres should go across the pond there and just be another team in Toronto. They could handle it.
Yeah. I don't know why Buffalo has teams. It's just so far away.
Their football team though has a legitimate following. I just don't know why they have a
Yeah,
hockey team.
the one
Bills-
thing with
the Bills
with
Mafia.
football, they're a sports town. Like, because they are smaller, so initially I'm like, maybe not Buffalo, but that fan base is diehard. So I think that fan base deserves a team. Like, they show up for their team, so I'm good with them having
Yeah.
one.
New Jersey doesn't need a hockey team. You know that this is what I think is ridiculous about New York. You talk about LA, Tyler. New York has just like not just in New York, but in like the greater New York City area. They have the Devils, the Rangers, the Islanders. Then they have the Jets and the Giants, and then they have the Mets and the Yankees, obviously, and then they have the Nets and the Knicks, right? So they have 9 teams, and I think the
Does
population.
Buffalo count?
No, I'm not going to count that.
Okay.
So I just mean in like the local New York area, and living in the Hudson Valley as much as I have, honestly, people are Jets and Giants fans, Rangers fans, and um, um, Yankees
Yeah, we
fans.
talked about that.
I don't know very many Islanders fans. I don't know very many Brooklyn Nets fans or Knicks fans. I don't see very many people wearing any of their hats or anything like. Usually, I see people wearing like the traditional like Chicago Bulls hat or that sort of thing. It's Yankees, it's Jets, it's Giants, it's Rangers. That's it. So why are these other teams exist? And I guess maybe the Islanders are on Long Island. I don't really have any experience with that, so like they probably do have a fan base. And I think Brooklyn and the Knicks probably do have a fan base as well. But like those are your major teams. So why are these other teams here? Especially like the New Jersey Devils. Why is that a team? Like no one cares.
That's very, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Because Jersey doesn't scream to me hockey town, like at all. So I don't
Neither
really
does Tampa Bay or Las Vegas, but they have teams.
True.
That's true. Isn't Tampa Bay's team pretty good too?
They won last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess they're pretty good. It's kind of funny that team's was the best in the league.
They've been really good for years. You want to talk some other sports stuff? I think we've spent enough time on this. Just came across headlines. ESPN just reported and a bunch of other outlets. Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. I'm going to say that name wrong. Mayweather. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Mayweather. So I knew that too. What do we think? Is that something worth watching?
As long as it's not Jake Paul, I'll watch any YouTuber fight any pro.
Touche.
Jake Paul is just the worst.
Yeah, that fight against real
Ben
quick.
Askren?
Yeah, one, it looks like Ben Askren had been eating donuts all the way up to that fight.
Yeah.
Did you see the weigh-in was horrible?
Yeah.
But like they threw Paul, a guy who in MMA, he wasn't known for his striking. Actually, that was his biggest weakness.
He was known for being able to take a punch.
He was known and for grappling and wrestling.
Yeah.
But they had it just boxing. So they're literally pairing him up with a guy who his weakest skill in fighting is boxing. And
it was a setup.
Yeah, it's all money grabbing.
100%.
And they succeeded.
Yeah, no, I mean they got a lot of money. I mean, I just with Jake, he's such a I don't know if he's just putting on a persona to build up everything, which probably is. There's always theatrics and entertainment in that fight, in
I
that
think
sport.
they're both punks. Like I thought Logan Paul was actually kind of cool maybe 5 years ago. Like I thought he had this kind of I, I, I'm not going to say I don't mean redemptive as in like what we would think of redemptive, but I mean like he talked about his bird and he was trying to make it in L.A. and he just was kind of this goofy guy on Instagram that and YouTube that just
Yeah.
kind of was kind of just sharing his life, and then he became like this. I don't know, like he became typical L.A. like. Justin
He
Bieber
got money,
pre-meeting
man.
Judah Smith or
Yeah,
um,
he got
Miley Cyrus, like these freaking like redemptive, like good people that just get ruined by the LA culture.
yeah. No, as for this fight coming up, I mean, Floyd Mayweather is one of the most technically skilled boxers to literally ever live.
He's never lost a fight.
He's never lost. So I mean, it's tough to go up against
How
that.
much? So seriously, if
So-
this is go, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say the one thing that is a big difference in this fight is Logan Paul's a big dude. He's a really big dude compared. Like Floyd's not. He's 5'8", 150 pounds. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And Logan Paul's 6'2", like 200,
Yeah.
and he's ripped. Like he's not like tubby. Like he's muscle. So I mean, Floyd obviously is the more skilled boxer, but all Logan needs to get is one lucky punch, and who knows what could happen. Like, because he's way bigger. He's way bigger than Mayweather, but
Yeah.
So I think there is a slim chance that Logan could pull it out, just because of the size of him, and he is athletic. He has a wrestling background, so he's no chump. He's very athletic, but Floyd Mayweather is known for being one of the best defensive boxers in history, so he'll know how to defend that.
So I love how you say that there's a chance, because you're right. There always is. Let me look this up really quick. I just want to know his
Mayweather's never fought a dude outside of his weight class that big before.
So he's 50-0 in his professional boxing career. There is always a chance for those 50 people, but it never happened because of how good he is. I don't care. Honestly, I really don't care how big he is. I don't like Floyd's not going to let an amateur boxer get a lucky punch. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, he is literally, I think, the best defensive boxer to ever live. Like that's what he's known for.
Yeah.
His style gets a little boring sometimes, but he knows what he's doing. It's very, very technically sound. So he'll win it most likely. I don't know. I think it could. I don't think it's gonna go knockout. He's not gonna knock out Logan because Logan's way
He
bigger.
could probably take a pretty good punch. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll go whatever how many rounds they're gonna do for the exhibition match, but he'll win it technically. He'll get the score and get the dub, but really they both will win because they'll both make an absurd amount of money.
Oh yeah,
that's the point of this. So
the past, I don't know. I read this one when Floyd fought Conor McGregor that.
Oh man,
the past 5 Floyd fights are like the biggest payouts of his career, or whatever it was. Just the more he keeps going, the more people want to watch it.
Yeah, I've never watched any of them, but I want to know what the outcome is.
Right, because you're just like, oh, that's cool. See both. Like, I want to see a professional fighter beat up a YouTube star.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, that sounds marketable. Let's put it on.
Yeah.
And no, I have to. I wonder how much Jake won, or how much he made this last fight. I'm sure
both got a pretty good payout.
I'm sure it was millions and millions of dollars. Yeah, Floyd Mayweather makes like $100 million on those fights.
Yeah,
it's something like absurd.
And people love watching him.
So
it's crazy.
The only downfall is he doesn't know how to read.
He doesn't. That's actually been proven.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
he's illiterate.
They tried to have him read an advertisement on like a radio show, and he couldn't do it. And then 50 Cent came at him hardcore, and there was like a beef between them.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny.
Let's keep going. So we got the NFL draft next week, I believe, or is it? No, it's the first.
Thursday.
It's this Thursday. It's
So
the
it's
day
today.
that this gets released, right? Let me name you. Just name a team, and you guys tell me what you think their biggest need is. So let's do an easy layup, and then we'll get into maybe some more complicated ones. New England Patriots.
I disagree. I think they need a wide receiver.
How about can I just say yes to both? Can they get both?
Honestly, they could pick either one, and it wouldn't be the wrong answer.
It's true. That's why I said that.
Either one of them is like, yeah, no, we need that too. So,
Actually, just name a skill position that's not tight end,
Right.
and tight end and punter. So, they picked up a kicker. Okay, well they needed one of those. They
Yeah.
picked up a safety. No, that's a good call. They picked up a they picked up
I
an
guess
outside
that's the one
linebacker. Good
benefit.
call.
It's the one benefit to having so many holes is you can't go wrong in the draft.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's
think
just
they
like,
can. I think they can.
Hey,
So
come on, it's Bill Belichick.
yeah, that's exactly why I think they can.
yeah, they haven't drafted well the past couple of years.
All right, next one,
So.
Bills.
Ooh,
Oh wow! But they need a better defense.
Yeah, so
I'd say
yeah,
somewhere in a safety or a middle linebacker.
defense, some sort of defensive back. They need to draft it. I would agree. Yep.
Yeah, that's if the second thing is,
I know what
outside
you're
of that would probably be a running back.
I was gonna say that
yeah,
too.
that's
Yeah.
I was just gonna say
We saw that on display in the playoffs. They need someone who can run the ball. They just don't have that. It hurt them in the playoffs.
Browns.
Same thing.
No, I think they got a running back. I think
they have running
No,
backs.
defensive. I mean, like they need.
They
defense.
they need defensive backs specifically. Because they have their front line is the defensive line's a beast. They have one of the best defensive lines in the league. The linebackers are like they're not amazing, but they're solid. But that secondary gave up some big plays sometimes.
You want a hot take?
Are you gonna say quarterback?
I am gonna say quarterback.
Oh man, he wants Baker out of there, huh?
Yep.
Explain.
Here's what I think. I think he is. I've seen him before. That type of player before, and I'll see him again. They're good for a couple years, and then they suck. And I think we're overdue for Baker Mayfield sucking. It may not be this year, might be the end of this year, but he's going to crap a span somewhere around the line. Blake Gabbert, Johnny Manziel,
what's their pick?
Ryan Tannehill. Like I could keep going down the list of just people that are forgettable, and I think Baker Mayfield is one of those arrogant dingleberries that's going to be forgettable in a couple years.
Wait. I'm sorry. I thought I was watching The Herd for a second.
The Herd? What?
Colin Coward.
Oh,
come
so
on.
Their pick number 26. The Browns.
They're not picking a quarterback, but I think they should.
Will be gone by then.
They should.
I don't think so. I think there's going to be some that fall into the second round.
It's a bad take.
It might be a bad take, but it's my take. I think that they're going to need a quarterback within the next 2 years. That's what I think.
Oh, that's wow.
I'd give it another season before I got another quarterback just to see how he did.
Just imagine if they had a backup ready to go. I'm not saying that a starter, but I think they have somebody that could fill that role if need be. I think he's going to get either injured or he's just going to crap down his leg.
That's a hot take.
I do
think it's very interesting that last year when Odell got injured, he played better.
That's a reoccurring theme with Odell, isn't it?
It's very, very like I was not expecting that. It's like once he was out of the lineup, it was almost like Baker had more freedom when he was playing, which I was like, ooh, that's a bad look for OBJ.
Yeah.
Immediately the Browns saw that and were like, oh, he's expendable. That's trade bait.
Yeah. I got another one for you. I actually have another two in that same division. Pittsburgh.
Quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, I'd go QB right now because Ben's on the way out soon.
Sooner than soon. I would agree. I don't think they're going to get a quarterback, though. I just don't know.
No, they won't. They should. I just don't know who's available. I just don't know who would be available by then because Ben, he gets injured all the time now, and you could see it last year, like when he's at the point sometime in some games where he's just tired and just not the same guy.
Doesn't care to put his team on his back anymore.
Right, and so it's like, and you see he doesn't take care of himself in the off season. He looks like a homeless man when he shows up, and he just doesn't care anymore.
He's got a very old school way of being a quarterback, which is I'm going to carry some weight and just
it's the 1960s. He's got like
will my team
on the sideline.
Cincinnati. O-line.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
it's another
layup. It's like you need like all their first 5 picks to be the offensive line.
You need people that are 300 pounds and can stop a freight train if need be. That's what you need.
Yeah, seriously, that every pick should be the offensive line for them. Goodness, and I just hope that Burrow's okay.
Kansas City.
O-line.
Really? You don't think defense?
No, their defense wasn't that bad last year. But I mean, we saw it on display.
I think you're saying O-line, particularly because of what we saw in the Super Bowl. But that's also Tampa Bay had one of the best defensive fronts in.
Yeah,
in
but I mean, all season the Kansas City Chiefs struggled with Patrick Mahomes having a run.
Patrick Mahomes did get injured. Yeah, he did get injured.
They don't like that a lot. Andy Reid's not a huge fan of him running.
I think they could really benefit from getting a good pass rush.
Dallas.
I think that's something. Oh man,
Quarterback. No, I'm just kidding.
Jacob right now. Dallas.
Side note, I love seeing the NFL memes where there's always that one guy that comments the Photoshop picture of their head coach and Dak holding up the Lombardi trophy saying the Dallas is coming back this year. And I'm thinking to myself, the Mike McCarthy is not bringing them back this year.
Or next year.
Or next year.
Honestly, Dallas,
just keep dusting off your VHS player because that's what you're going to need.
An entire new defense.
Yeah, I was going to say their defense got exposed last year.
Especially the first half of the season. It was like legendarily bad.
Yeah.
Like it was really bad, particularly the secondary.
Yeah.
They were just letting everyone run by them. So they need to beef up that entire defense. It was trash. Their offense could put up points.
Want another hot take?
Are you going to say running back?
I sure am.
Zeke. I knew you were going to say Zeke.
He also got exposed last year.
He did. Yep. He did not have a good year.
I think there are very few I think running backs are still important, but I think there's very few running back names that are good for extended period of times. You know, Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, your boy Falk there.
Marshall Falk.
You know, there's Corey Dillon, you know, there's a few of them out there. There's a couple other big names that I'm just
Damian Tomlinson.
Yeah.
Was it Sanders? Barry Sanders?
Barry Sanders, yeah.
You know, those just their big names and they're iconic guys that were running backs and did it for a lot of years. Outside of that, I just don't know if Zeke is that. I think honestly,
I think he'll bounce back this year. I think he'll have a really good season.
I think he's one of those guys that if the team is bad, he's bad, and he's going to just check out. And it would benefit them to recognize that sooner than later and cut bait with him and ship him to a team that he feels like he gets engaged with again.
If he has a great offensive line, he's shown himself to be a great player. But he showed this past year, if the offensive line isn't clicking,
again, so he doesn't fight through the adversity.
Right. Whereas Barry Sanders his greatness is. He played behind one of the worst offensive lines in NFL history, and he still averaged over 5 yards per carry and retired being the second all-time leading rusher. Like, that's greatness.
Yeah, I agree.
Pull that off. Zeke showed last year he's good when the circumstances are good around him, which is great, but a lot of players can say that.
Yeah, that's not a football player to me. I'm out on that.
Yeah.
San Francisco.
Quarterback,
yeah.
It kills me to say that, but Garoppolo gets hurt. It's because he gets hurt way too much.
I'm hearing they're eyeing Mac Jones right now.
They should, honestly. Like, because I want Garoppolo to work. Like, I like him as a person and stuff, but he's hurt all the time. The guy can't stay on the field. And they're paying him what, $27 million a year.
So are you in or out on the Patriots trading for Jimmy G?
I think he's still an upgrade from Cam.
So you would take his injury proneness versus Cam not being able to throw a football?
Yes.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Really?
I think he has bigger upside than Cam. Dude, I did not the sample size last year, 15 games, I'm good.
But if you play one game, gets hurt and misses the next 5.
Well, at least we had a better shot in that one game with him starting.
That's one game. Cam still won 9.
Tyler.
He won 7.
Tyler. Sorry. Other way around.
Tyler. I don't know if he won 7. He didn't win 7 because did they win any games he didn't start in?
He missed.
I think they did, right?
He missed the one game with COVID. I forget if they won or lost that. So he won either 6 or 7 games. Lost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tyler, when it's third down in a close game, and you're 3rd and 10, you can't just rely on a guy in his legs. I have to know
Okay,
that
well,
my
what
quarterback
if
can throw the football.
Okay, what if that quarterback that can throw the football's not there? I'd rather have something than nothing. That doesn't make it. The logic isn't there.
Both their backups can throw a better football.
So put the backups in. There's your solution.
I would take because
don't take Cam and don't take Jimmy G. Like
I would
the
take.
logic
I
doesn't
would
make any sense.
I would rather Jimmy G with Brian Hoyer backing him up any day of the week than Cam Newton with Brian Hoyer backing him up. That is an upgrade.
Yep.
There is no logic in what you just said.
That's no logic. Yeah.
I know.
What are you confused by?
What if he misses 6 games
quarterback
because he got injured? Then
I'm
you have Brian Hoyer in.
I am willing. Yeah, I'd take Brian Hoyer throwing the ball over Cam Newton throwing the ball.
So then your take should be to make Brian Hoyer the quarterback.
No, because I want to have the potential for an upgrade.
Yeah,
I don't follow your logic. There's the opportunity. There's a higher upside. Like, how do you not see that logic?
Yeah, I'm taking the risk on hey, if he does stay healthy, this is the best thing for the team.
Right.
I also am taking the risk on Bill Belichick being able to coach him.
That's how much I don't like Cam.
I think Bill can coach him into better decision making for less injuries. If he's not just slapping it out there, winging it. There was one injury he took where he's running to the sideline, throwing the football. I don't know if and I don't think that his coach right now is a bad coach, but I think that Bill would probably be better at just throw that away and take the sack. Take the sack. Don't worry about it. Live to see. I think a good experienced coach would coach some of those injuries out of him, truthfully, and I think there's a higher upside. I will be rooting for Cam Newton this year, and I hope that all the excuse making the Patriots have made from Kraft on down about him having COVID and not a fair shot is true. But my sample size, like Aaron, I've heard you say too, he can't throw a football. I need a quarterback and throw a football. We're not in the 1950s where you can just run the football. And I think running the football is important. Like, I'm not saying that a guy, I don't need Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, who literally they don't run. Like, I get that the NFL has changed, but like when it's 3rd and 10 and the game's on the line, a 2-minute drill, I'm not handing the football off, and I'm not hoping he tucks in and runs. He needs to throw that dang thing.
Accurately,
yes. He needs to throw it, and it needs to not hit the guy's feet. It needs to hit him in the breadbasket.
Yes. Absolutely. The dog agrees. So that's it. You got another team, Eric?
Miami.
Honestly, I think that if they got Tua out and got a better guy in there, I think they're making playoffs.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of teams that I think need quarterbacks.
They have the pieces. If they had a different guy in there other than Tua, they're making the playoffs.
Wait. I got one more. Raiders. What if the Raiders and Miami traded quarterbacks? Is it an upgrade for both teams?
If Tua went to Las Vegas?
Yep.
It's not an upgrade for the Raiders.
Younger?
I think it'd be an upgrade for the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins would win that trade.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
I just think that the Raiders are not.
I think Tua showed he can do
too much money in Derek Carr.
Tua showed he can do some things with his legs, which is great. But he had several games last year where like he threw for under 100 yards or like only 100 yards during the whole game. Like he'd average like 4 yards of completion. Like he had a couple games like that where their offense was just stagnant, couldn't move. And he had to be carried by his defense. So I don't know. I didn't have much faith in him after what I saw last season. I think Carr's an upgrade over Tua if they were to switch.
Let's move on. I think that was a good little exercise. I was just curious. I don't really follow the draft that much. I think it's cool to watch like the opening night, and I'd like to know who they draft. But
follow it all you want, and then draft day happens, and it's completely different.
It's cooler to see who they drafted and what the potential is there, like going into the training camp part and into who those players are going to become. But leading up to it, it's all just speculation and hype and people getting paid a whole lot of money to predict what they don't really know is going to happen. Which I guess is just sports analysis in general. But
the only thing people know is the first pick. That's it. Like no one beyond that, it always is different.
Tyler, I know I talked about this with you, but a little bit. But did you end up going back and watching the video of Chris Wagner calling out Garrett? So what's his name? Garrett, the pitcher for the Red Sox that's a puddle of poo poo.
Um,
Good
Garrett
alliteration.
Richards. Garrett
Puddle
Richards.
of
That's what he
poo-poo.
is. Yeah. And I guess he's starting tonight. I don't know how they're doing right now, Tyler. I don't know if you're following that, but
I meant to. Garrett
um,
Richards, yeah, number 42.
Garrett Richards is gonna be one of those kind of. He's gonna be the next David Price, I think. Just the average, baseball pitcher that's really neurotic and like has to have everything perfect. Well, um, there was a radio interview of Chris Wagner where he's like on the weekly radio of the Bruins, so he's there and uh they tell him about how Garrett Richards was complaining about how it was cold and and it's like 6 years of playing in baseball. He's never had to pack a jacket before to go to the stadium. And Chris Wagner, who plays for the Bruins, mind you, a tougher sport, and is from New England, is from Walpole, goes, well, that guy's kind of soft, huh? Like,
Dude, it's like you're a professional.
straight up calls him out. He
You're a
goes,
professional athlete. Like you're
yeah,
playing outside. Like
baseball players are so annoying. They really are. It's drizzling outside and they like melt out there. Like they're, the Wicked Witch of the West
you're
melting
getting
in the
paid
rain.
millions of dollars. Like to play an outside sport, and then it's like they're surprised when it's like cooler or it rains. It's like, what? Why are you complaining? You're making like 300 grand today.
Yeah, exactly.
You're making 300 grand to stand out in left field and grab your crotch every 15
Yeah,
minutes. Like, stop complaining
I
about
think
the
your
drizzle.
total amount of time running is like 3 minutes combined. Settle down. You're making hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can bring a coat. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, seriously. And are you cold when you're throwing the baseball and like sweating it out? Well, I don't know. He probably does get cold because he sucks and he gets pulled out of the games too early and he sits on the bench, freezing his butt off because they can't stand when he pitches because he gives up way too much. Like,
Yeah. I have
he's
zero sympathy for that guy.
literally just a warm body that starts football or baseball games. Literally because they need a starter. That's it. He's a warm body. He sucks.
And they're paying you
He's not good
substantial
at
amounts
all.
of money to do that. And so it's, I don't know, that it's then don't play.
I think
just get out the
I think
league.
that's just inherently some sports have like softer players and that side of stuff. For players that tend to
Yeah.
complain. Like
Yeah.
I do think basketball players complain a lot, but I have to give basketball players the credit. They're running the entire time,
Oh yeah.
sweating and smashing into each other. I completely get that to a
Yep.
certain degree. Like,
It's much more physical.
it is. It's a more physical game, and if they're going to complain a little bit more, that's just kind of how the sport goes. That's fine. Baseball is like I get that it's physical, but David Wells was like 300
Yeah.
pounds throwing pitches out there. So like,
And
how
if you're in the
physical do you have to be?
outfield, most of the time you're kind of just standing there.
Well, I have to get outfield guys have to be athletic because they have to be able to get a jump on that ball and get there.
Right.
So I have to give them that
in a direction they got to move, but
but
hitting
Manny
that direction.
Ramirez played outfield for years
Right.
and he wasn't in the best shape. So I will
Right.
give you that.
So I have no sympathy for that guy. It's like, dude, you're playing a professional sport. You're really gonna let did you not play in cold weather as a kid at all in the rain?
Right.
Like you've been playing since you were 4, probably. And now you're getting, I don't know. I hate that crap. That's why I love football players, because they all I don't know, they all grew up playing outside in cold weather. There's that toughness, so they don't complain about that crap. They actually like playing in cold weather, which is weird. So
Some of them do.
Yeah, there's some who not as much, but they at least have at least once in their life. Whereas baseball, yeah, they can be very finicky, which is annoying.
What do you got on the NBA right now, Aaron? What's going on in the NBA since the last time we talked last week?
I wanted to talk about this. Is a couple weeks ago this happened, but I don't know if you guys saw what happened with Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
So many of you, like, you probably know that he was an analyst for ESPN, who was run by Disney, right? So we know Disney obviously has a code of conduct.
They're very woke.
Right, exactly. And so there's things you can and can't do. You have to have, even outside of your work outside of your work life, you have to have a standard of like how you present yourself in the public eye. And so Pierce, he was already not really good at his job. He made like some stupid takes during his tenure there, but all of a sudden, Paul Pierce, who is married and has 3 kids with his wife, all of a sudden decides to go on Instagram Live, and he turns it on, and where he is getting a massage by a scantily clad woman who is not his wife, big blunt hanging in his fingers and out of his mouth, and then he puts the camera up to see a scantily clad woman on the floor twerking on the ground with his boy in the back with another blunt, and they're like, "Hey!" And it's like he posts this on Instagram Live, and it's like, dude, what are you? Disney saw it, canned him immediately. But I'm just like, if we had like a segment in the podcast, like dunce of the week, dunce of the month, like Paul Pierce, you're the dunce of the month.
I like
like,
it.
Goodness, man, like you're working for ESPN, they're paying you good money. He was making good money, and you have to recognize you're under Disney. You have to present yourself in a certain way, right? It's family friendly, and this dude's putting like strippers, like twerking it in the background while smoking weed and stuff. And you're married, and you have 3 kids. So not only is it a bad call career wise, where now you're losing your job, but like, how do you explain that to the missus and to your kids that, oh, hey,
Yeah,
Dad,
it's
get
just-
stoned? Like, that's even worse.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, why? Like, his choices are his choices. I can't make them for him. He's gonna live his life how he lives his life. But why do you need to hit the freaking Instagram live button?
Right.
Like, that's the part that blows my mind. He's like, okay, if you're gonna do that, do it on the low. Like, I don't agree with it. I think it's messed up. But you're your own man. But why would you broadcast that?
So
I
Aaron,
don't know.
did he deserve to get fired?
Oh, he 100. He deserved to get fired before that because he just sucked as an analyst.
Okay, so even if he didn't suck, did he deserve to get fired for that?
I think it's because it's for Disney and who he's working for, where they have that in the contract. Oh, I think I know what you're saying because we talked about this before. Never mind. Reverse.
No, you can't get out of this. So, Disney has a code of ethics, and they, even if you disagree with how things go, they have a right to terminate people at any point, right?
Anyways,
No, you are not getting out of this, because there was a certain character for The Mandalorian that recently got fired for her opinions that she shared on Instagram, I might add.
Wait,
And
did we talk about that?
oh, we did talk about that, and you were like, it's not fair that she got fired. She should be able to express herself in whatever way she wants, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, but there was no moral conduct to what she did.
That's a matter of opinion, because Disney would disagree with you.
Oh yeah, because it was the Jew thing, right? And the Nazi thing.
Yeah. I
That's
think it was
right.
some sort of I think it was something.
She
It
was
was something
comparing.
with the
She was
Nazis
comparing.
and
and-
Jews.
No, she was comparing the left to Nazi Germany.
Nazis.
I thought it had
and what
something
they
to
did
do
to
with.
the Jews or something. It was something like that.
I thought it had to do with like transgender awareness too, or something like that. I forget. Anyways, we don't have to dive into that.
Okay,
I
it
just,
might have just been her
I'm not
views.
I'm not diving. I'm not
You're
diving
right,
into that.
Eric.
Okay, that's all I wanted to
Okay.
hear is that whether
I'm more
you.
appalled at Paul because, like, dude, you're married and you got 3 kids.
I agree with you.
And
I'm
it's
not
just like,
disagreeing with you.
what the freak are you doing? I just think it's a bonehead. Like, don't hit send. Don't hit the.
I don't
freaking like
understand in this day and age why people decide to put stuff out there like publicly. Like,
button. I know, like, dude, like who?
who do you
I mean,
think
he
you
was
are that you
high.
can just? Well, yeah.
So I mean, I guess his judgment was
But
impaired, but
but if he's that casually high, do you think he gets high anyways? And like,
he must. Yeah, he gets high all the time. There's no doubt about that. So. Yeah, I don't know. I would just like he's the dunce of the week. Other things, NBA, Steph Curry, setting records, my boy.
The weekly Steph Curry.
Yeah, man.
Aaron wants to marry him segment.
He has 83 3-pointers made in April so far, which is an NBA record, best all time, and he still has 2 games to go. So my guy Curry continuing to cook. I'm interested to see after these last 2 games how many he has. And interestingly enough, I saw an article today on Sports Illustrated saying how Steph Curry is now making his MVP run and is now advancing up the ladder. So there's some hope that he could get it because they are now they're above 500 now. They went above 500, so they have a winning record. So it could happen. And in other news, the Celtics are now losing to a Thunder team that has lost 13 straight.
They're losing right now.
Yeah, to the Thunder right now.
What quarter is it?
Let me just check. I just saw it a couple minutes ago, but they're losing to the Thunder, who are one of the worst.
They lost like
they're about to lose. It's fourth quarter, 30 seconds left, and they're down 112 to 107. The Thunder suck. Granted, Jason Tatum, he's banged up and not playing, but they still have Jaylen Brown playing, and they still have a better team. And
Did you hear what
yeah.
Brad Stevens had to say about the team?
No. What did he say?
He said something like, "Oh gosh, what did he say?" He said in one of their losses, he's like, "I thought they were out there playing themselves. Like they thought they were going to defend the way they would defend their own offense, and that's why we lost." Like he was so mad.
That's
That
jeez.
team is a lost cause.
Yeah,
The
this will be their
cause.
third. This will be their third loss in a row. So they had their stretch where they were won at 8 out of 10, and now they've reverted back. So yeah, I have no hope for them in the playoffs. They'll be first round exits.
Yeah, that team's a
What it's
lost
gonna be.
cause.
So
Completely lost cause.
yep, they'll be a first round exit. Nets are gonna win it all. Yay NBA! All right.
You sound so bored with the NBA, and I
It's
don't
just
blame
like
you. It's so
the Nets
predictable, though, isn't
the Nets
it?
are gonna win it because like LeBron is still not back yet, and who knows if he's gonna be 100% when he's back. And now they put themselves in a hole down to the 5th seed. So the playoffs are going to be a little tougher for them now. They're not going to have home court advantage. So that's paved the way for the Nets. Like there's just no doubt about it now, which kind of
Don't
stinks.
don't take this the wrong way, but that's one of the reasons why I don't really like basketball as much. Like it's that predictable. Well, this team got injured, and that team really isn't going to show up. So,
Yeah.
that team has the most talent. They're going to win it all
This
now.
year is definitely more so. Like it's been known. Yeah, ever since LeBron and AD got hurt, it's like, well, now we know for sure the Nets are going to win. Before it was like they might. Now it's okay, they are.
Yeah.
And you just have to wait till June now to see it happen. But that's what I have for the NBA.
Tyler, you got anything on baseball? Any developing takes on how your Red Sox are doing? Our Red Sox, because I'm all aboard that train too. I have been following them. I can't help
they still
myself with
been
the Red
winning?
Sox.
I just think it's funny that now,
They've
granted,
leveled out.
we talked a lot of crap about Garrett Richards, but he has held the Mets to 1 run.
Are the Mets any good?
No.
Okay. How many innings?
They have
How
a
many
good.
innings?
It's the middle of the 8th. I don't know how many he went. I've been trying to put it on my thing, don't work. But the Red Sox pitching staff is somehow doing well. Eduardo Rodriguez, who's currently our ace, is just wheeling and dealing. He's doing really well. Nathan Eovaldi's doing really well. All the
Are
other
the
guys
Dodgers
are
still
manageable.
ridiculously good right now? Is
The
their record?
well, yeah, they're not the best record. The best record in baseball right now is the Royals.
Really?
Yeah, I don't understand that, but
Is that a fluke?
no, no, they just got Benintendi in left field, who's been doing really well. They still have Salvi behind the plate, and he's always been good. Their pitching staff is like manageable. I think it's the bats that's helping them out right now. But I'm not ready to judge any team other than the Red Sox just because that's my team. But it's April. Once we're out of April and into May and June, we're going to really see the core teams that are going to stick out. And yes, so the Dodgers, yes, are going to be that team still. But my goodness, the San Diego Padres can put up a fight against them. And there's no doubt in my mind that's going to be our NLCS this year. And that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I mean, we're watching. They said it at the beginning of the year. Every series that the Dodgers play the Padres is like watching the World Series, and it is.
Wow.
The tensions are that high. It is a great rivalry. Over the next few years, if they both stay very good, it's going to take over as a better rivalry in baseball than the Red Sox and Yankees.
Not all
time. Just like
That's
in the moment, like in the moment.
Red Sox Yankees has been pretty mellow recently.
It has.
I mean,
it spiked up in
heats
2018
yeah.
with the Joe Kelly fight, which I was in attendance for. And yeah, so it's just a lot of fun to watch the Padres and the Dodgers face off, just because of how freaking good both teams are. They both have really good pitching staff.
The best part about a rivalry when it exists is like it's always kind of there. And then when it erupts, it's almost like you want to go? Oh no, we're going to go this year. It's going to be this. And, like 2018, the Red Sox, every once in a while, the Patriots and Jets get into it, but not very often.
Right.
Or like Padres, or like, is it Cincinnati and Pittsburgh has a really good beef? They're like, they always beef with each other. And,
Probably.
And when that's going, like it doesn't happen every year, but every once in a while you have a really hard hit or like a really tough game. Like when those actually perk up, they're fun to watch.
Speaking of the Yankees, they're still in dead last of the American League at 9-13.
That is the greatest thing I have
they're
ever
losing
heard.
to the Orioles. It's just not looking good. Aaron Boone needs to be fired.
There's nothing.
That's it. Aaron Boone needs to go.
There's nothing better than a big market team that spent a boatload of money just sucking absolute pond water.
Yeah.
It's just so
it's
enjoyable.
April, like I said, so they can turn it around easily, like very easily. But at this moment, if I was to judge them, I would say get rid of Aaron Boone.
Who would you replace him with?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't follow managers or anything. But last night versus the Orioles, there was some call that took them. You know how when there's a bad call and you want to review it, you as the manager, you get on the phone with your guys upstairs and you say, "Is this worth reviewing? Should I do it? Should I do it?" Well, you're only allowed a certain amount of time to make that decision.
Right.
Then the umpire, because they want to speed up the game, the umpire's like, "No, like this is it. That's it. We're going." And they did that to Aaron Boone last night because he took too long. And they were like, "We're not going to review it. You took too long." And he comes out and he argues and gets thrown out of the game. And in the press conference later, he's like, "It was just too quick. And I feel like they're just bullying me out there."
Oh.
And Barstool Sports wrote a really good article about it. And it was just like, "Oh, poor Aaron Boone. It's all a conspiracy. You got cheated on in 2017, 18, 19, and 20. Blah, blah, blah. It's everybody else's fault." That's obviously a little bit drastic and a little melodramatic, but it's Aaron Boone is not doing a good job as a manager, and he has not proven himself no matter how many asterisks you put on anything, because Yankees fans are doing that. Well, 2017 we were cheated on. 2018 obviously we were cheated on because the Red Sox cheated. No, they didn't.
Come on, buddy. Go for it.
2019,
get it.
I don't even know what they did in 2019. In 2020, it was COVID season. That's an asterisk for anybody. It's all excuses from Yankees fans.
It's not an asterisk if everyone has to do it.
Right, exactly. And so Yankees fans are just making up huge excuses as to why Aaron Boone hasn't gotten them a ring yet, which they should have at least 3 in the past 5 years. So
did you put up 4 fingers and say 5 years?
No, it was just turned. Like,
we need to review the tape on that.
You can go ahead and watch it. It just wasn't turned enough, I promise. So yeah, Aaron Boone, I think he needs to go. I don't know who to replace him with. Somebody better. But it just brings joy to my soul that they're in last place. I hope it stays like that for the rest of the year, because that would be like one of the biggest. You'd see documentaries about it. The best baseball team sits in last place.
I love it.
I would love that. I would watch that. That'd be great.
Because
talent-wise, they have the best baseball team. Talent-wise.
You think so? Even bet more than the Dodgers?
No, I mean, they have Garrett Cole. He's by far, pound for pound, the second best pitcher in MLB.
Who's first?
Clayton Kershaw.
Okay.
Oh, easily. Here, so can we stick on baseball just for a second here?
Oh yeah, sure.
I want to ask you guys a little opinion. I feel like I know Aaron's answer already.
Oh dear.
But Eric, I want to get your answer. So Aaron, I'll let you answer
first.
first.
Throwaway. Yeah,
so no, it's not the throwaway. I just feel like I know what your answer is going to be.
Aaron about baseball. It's like me about basketball.
Yeah.
Okay, so first let me preface. You know what a no-hitter is, obviously.
Yes.
Okay,
I know where this is going.
So Madison Bumgarner of the Arizona Diamondbacks threw a no-hitter in a game that was only 7 innings long. It was a doubleheader, and the league decided this year that it was going to be 7 innings for doubleheaders. Both games will be 7 innings. He throws a no-hitter, and the MLB is deciding to not recognize it as a no-hitter because it didn't go 9 innings. What do you think?
It's bullcrap. The league made it so that it was 7 innings, so that means they should count it. It wasn't the team's fault. They did it, so they should count. That's clean, cut and dry.
Yep.
Like that's what I think about it.
I knew exactly where your brain was going to go.
The league said it has to only be 7 innings. That's not your fault. Like that's impressive. I don't know. That's bullcrap.
What do you think, Eric?
So I think that isn't there something where like if they call it because just for the sake of time, if a game gets like rained out after the fifth inning, it's considered like a full game.
So I think it's the seventh inning, but yeah.
Is it the seventh inning? However that works. It's counted as a complete game,
Yep.
and whatever those stats go in, they go in as. And I understand in that sense if they do not count things because they had originally planned for X amount of innings, and because of extenuating circumstances, it ends up being something else, and there are things like that in sports. The sports that are contingent on weather. NASCAR is my weekly NASCAR plug, but like there's a lot of races that once you get past halfway, the race is official. So you get past halfway and it rains out. Whoever was in the lead at the start of the red flag for rain wins the race,
Okay.
and you get credited with that win, and you get credited with whatever comes with you. It's not exactly the same thing, but sometimes there's a strategy that the rain's coming, and so you're gonna race your heart out, and you're gonna change your tire pressures to be that of qualifying, so your car takes off, so that you can get in the lead or get to the best possible position before the rain comes. There's some strategy to that. So I think when it's extenuating circumstances, I kind of understand, at least in baseball, that there's some manipulation to that. I don't know if I agree with if it's a complete if MLB says it is a complete game at 7 innings, which I like, by the way, and I'm glad they kept that after COVID, and I
Yeah.
hope they keep that. I hope
Me
that's a
too.
permanent thing.
Me too.
So so I just don't understand why. Okay, logically, if you're going to permanently say double headers, which is a thing that happens in baseball, is going to happen, and just logically that each game of the double header is going to have a different starter and a different lineup of pitchers, that if one of those pitchers goes all the game that was scheduled by MLB and doesn't give up a hit, how is that not a no-hitter?
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no,
Like,
it's
so
dumb.
how so would it be? And here's my other question: if he decided he's still cruising, they keep him warmed up, and for whatever reason they keep him warmed up, he goes out and pitches 2 more innings in the next game. Is that 9 innings? No hits. Is that considered a no-hitter?
Wait,
Or
say
would
that
it not
again?
be a no-hitter? So it's a doubleheader, right? So say he goes all 7 innings, they win, it's a no-hitter, and the next game starts an hour later, 45 minutes later, however it does, and however it happens,
The
and they put him
hour and
back out
20
there.
minutes.
Is an hour and 20 minutes. So an hour and 20 minutes later, they put him back out there for the first inning and the second inning. So now he's pitched 9 consecutive innings, in a row in the same day, with an hour and a half break with no hits in any of them. Is that considered a no-hitter? Because it's 9 innings.
Well, not to the league, obviously, no.
No, because it's 2 games.
Because it's 2 games. It's just
it's
skips a game.
It's a stupid rule.
A lot of the old time baseball fans are like, no, that's fine.
These
it
are
sh-
also
it shouldn't be a
That's
no
why
hitter.
these are the old time baseball fans that
trying.
they don't they don't want you flipping the bat when you hit a home run, and
Right.
respect the game, tip your cap. But
They
no,
also
no,
don't
no, no.
want African American players in the league. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
you just called a fan base racist. I agree.
Yikes.
I actually agree.
Yeah, of all the sports in Boston, that seems to be the one that attracts that clientele.
Yep.
We're from there.
And all the black and brown players that travel to Fenway will tell you that exact same thing.
Which is so dumb. Like, I fundamentally don't get it. You have Pedro Martinez, Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz. Like, come on. How could they're the ones that got you the first World Series in 86 years, and you're going to still have a racist card to play? Like,
Yeah, it's
I don't understand
ludicrous.
it. Don't get me on the racist thing again. That just pisses me off to all reason.
Me
Like, I
too,
can't
bro.
control myself. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah. So all in all, yes, it should be a no hitter. The old timey guys can go kick rocks. I don't know at what does the Players Association have a say in this whole 7 inning thing? I don't know. Did it have to be contracted out? But there should have been something in there where they were like, "This is a full game. Our stats count for a full game." Because what if somebody threw a perfect game? A no hitter is good.
And this is
good,
Madison
game.
Bumgarner too. He's legit.
You can count on no. You need
So what's the difference between a no hitter and a perfect
Wait
game?
a minute. You don't. Well, time out. You don't find Madison Bumgarner to be legit?
No, wait. What? I said.
You just.
No, I said if it was a perfect game, it would be different. It would be a lot more weighty because a no hitter, yes, it's good, but it's like it happens a lot. Not a lot, but like A no-hitter, you have a lot better because of errors and all that stuff. A no-hitter statistically can happen a lot easier
It's
than
still more possible, but I mean, that's like, an onside kick is
just look
still
at the
more.
just look at the
It's still
numbers though.
possible.
There's been a lot more no-hitters thrown than perfect games.
So
Still
what's the
though, that's like an
difference?
incredible achievement.
No, it's great. No. I'm not saying that it's like not that important. I'm just saying, what if it was a perfect game? Like if you
I see
threw
what you're saying.
like you're taking a perfect game away from somebody. Aaron, the difference between a no-hitter and a perfect game is nobody on the other team touched a base in a perfect
Oh
game.
wow.
You did not touch the base.
Yeah.
So no errors, no walks.
27 up, 27 down.
Yeah,
Right?
27 to 27.
How many of those have ever happened?
Very few.
It's 30 something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, very few.
That's rare. Holy crap. That's impressive. I don't even know how you can do because
It's possible. 162 games per team per year. Statistically, it's going to happen.
wow, that's nuts.
There
But
has been 21.
That's it. Wow.
I think
Man,
that's right.
That's crazy.
what's your favorite food to get at a baseball stadium, Tyler, or at a sporting event?
Hot dog with like every single thing on it and a really nice ice cold, just overflowing with joy Diet Pepsi. That's my code word. Wink, wink.
I always used to like is the French fries from Fenway Park and the stupid ice cream you could get in the baseball cap.
I don't know what those are.
Ice cream in the ice. You say the ice cream in the baseball
Ice
cap?
cream
Yeah,
and the little plastic baseball cap.
yeah.
You can take the baseball cap
Yeah,
home.
dude,
Yeah,
that was like a little kid's treasure.
yeah.
Every
Or an
every
adult's
kid,
treasure.
every kid I knew that I grew up with that went to a Red Sox game, they got that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a really great story. We went to a Fenway once, and it's we went in July, and that place is pretty poorly ventilated, and there's 33,000 people in there, and we're all dying of sweat. And my dad goes down and asks for a cup of ice, and the lady goes, "You're about to pay $5 for a cup of ice, or $3, whatever it was." And
What?
my dad goes, "I don't care. It's 100 degrees. Can you just give me a cup of ice?" And she's like, "You sure you want to pay $4?" I mean, again, I don't remember what it was for a cup of ice, and he goes, "Absolutely."
And
Okay,
there's
well, here's your
supply and demand
$4
on
cup. No.
display.
He gets to the register. The lady looks down and says, "Is that a cup of ice?" He goes, "Yeah." She says, "Get out of here."
That's awesome. Yeah, dude, a hot dog. I'll tell you
Mine
Yes,
what,
is
nothing
a
beats it.
Fenway
Oh yeah,
freaking
Aaron, you go.
Frank.
I never went to a Fenway game, but yeah, I've been to Celtics games and stuff. And honestly, for me, it's like, dude, nice plate of nachos.
Yeah, I knew
and
you were gonna say
nacho cheese,
nachos.
bro.
Yes,
Ugh,
dude.
I can't do it.
Oh, I
Is it
love it.
horrible for you? Absolutely. Is it good quality cheese? Nope.
No,
It's not
But it's
cheese.
good. No, it's not at all.
it's plastic.
I was
But
just
there's
saying.
just something about it, man. When it's just like nice and hot, hits those tortilla chips, you get woo.
You know,
You know
so
what I
I've
like,
been to
Tyler, is
go
an
ahead.
Italian sausage
Yeah.
with the
Oh, you
peppers
know
and
what?
onions.
That's way above hot dog for me now. I completely forgot. Yeah, the Italian sausage with peppers and onions is
Oh,
and
that's
a
some
little
always
mustard on it.
mustard,
Yeah.
Oh
baby.
yeah.
Oof. Come on,
Oh
give
yeah.
me some of that. And that's
I'm
actually
for
like
that too.
when you go to the ball game, that's the scent I think that sticks out the most is this Italian sausages.
Well,
In
it's because of the
Fenway,
spices.
Yeah.
It's because
in
of the
Fenway, I
spices in the
smell
sausage.
beer.
Oh, I guess yeah, the beer takes over everything at every sporting event.
Fenway smells like beer. That
That's because it's over all the seats.
Yeah,
and
but
out
it's
the
dude,
floor.
that smell. Oh, there's nothing better than the smell of a Red Sox or just a baseball game to me. It just smells so good.
it feels like you're going out to like an actual football or an actual sporting event.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've gone to a Celtics game. I didn't have that same vibe
Well, it's
when I went to a
indoors
Celtics.
too.
Yeah, like I've been to Bruins. I've been to a few Bruins games, and it's just nothing compares to outside. I even went to a Patriots game, and it was just like nothing will ever top walking into Fenway. Like when you walk up the ramp into Fenway and you see the monster and you smell
just
the
feels right.
atmosphere. It's just it's so different, and like even people that aren't Red Sox fans say that same thing about Fenway. You see it on TV and you're like, oh, that's cool. You will always underestimate how big the Green Monster is. every 10 times out of 10, you're always going to underestimate it until you see it in person. You're like, whoa, it's
especially
huge.
especially just the character of the baseball park. You know,
Mhm.
you go Gillette Stadium, and I've been to a couple other stadiums. They're all Wrigley Field is actually has a similar character, like just the character of a baseball park, how they're all slightly different.
Mhm.
They kind of the feel of them when you walk in, you kind of go up, and there's like a they just I don't know. I agree. There's just character, and you like the
It's just like the
character.
green of the grass, the very red of the dirt. You know, it's just, yeah, there's a lot of character in it.
You don't get that as much in football. I think I went to a football game. It was versus Seattle the year that they won it all. I think in 16 that year, the game that they lost on a stupid fade pass to Gronk, and I stood the whole game, and it was a lot of fun. I went with my sister. We had a lot of fun,
Hmm.
but
I've never been to a Patriots game either.
it's not the same as going to Fenway. I need to go to a Bruins game. I've been to a Celtics game. I've been to a bunch of Springfield Falcons games, Aaron.
Yep. Yeah,
A
every
ton
year.
of those.
Yeah.
So like that's so I've been to all of them. I've never been to basketball, but I've been in the Garden. So
Right.
there's no such thing as a bad seat in Fenway. Even
Those
in the
obstructive view
bleachers.
seats.
I'm sorry. Oh well, yeah. If you sit behind a pole, yeah. I don't even know why there's seats there, but even the further you are away, the more you see of the park, and I think it's awesome.
Tyler, I actually think that's one thing I disagree with you. I think almost every seat in Fenway is a bad seat.
Why? Because they're so small.
They're small. They don't face home plate. I get that, like
No,
sitting
I
in
meant,
you're sitting in Fenway, so I get that part. But like, if you go to watch the game, I mean, the whole time you're sitting in your seat is facing left field, and you're arching your back and turning. And then as you're turning, you're shifting your 100 and whatever pound, some of us 200-pound body into the complete stranger next to you, who's an inch away and also hot and sweaty as you're looking at the baseball home plate. Like
I guess I like that aspect. I just meant for view of the game. Like you're always going to be close. Like it's just not that big. And the same thing goes for the Garden, for the TD Garden.
I was going to say the Garden. Whoever constructed that is a
Oh, yeah.
Garden's got good seats.
I mean, do you
anywhere you can sit and see everything?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine what it's like seeing a basketball game, but even seeing a hockey game, it's easy to follow no matter where you are.
Yeah, no, they did a great job with designing that place.
And I think that's the bad thing about Gillette.
There's some bad seats at the top.
It's still like the capacity is smaller than other stadiums. It's not one of the bigger ones.
Right.
But like when you sit way back, it's hard to follow football that far back.
Yeah, you're watching a television screen. That's one of my personal pet peeves. I go to the game, I don't want to watch the Jumbotron. I want to watch the game. Like I'm here to physically watch the game.
Here's a throwback. You ever seen that Rocco's Modern Life episode where they go to the sporting event?
I think I have. It's been a long time.
And they travel like up into space, and that's where their seats were. It was really funny. Anyways,
you know what I think? When I think Jumbotron, I think you guys don't like them because you don't, Tyler. You don't like Disney animated classics, but a Goofy movie, the end scene where they fall out of the Jumbotron and they dance with whatever his name is, iconic moment in animated film right there.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've seen.
I love that movie.
An extremely goofy movie. Is that one?
I think that's the sequel.
That's the sequel.
I've seen
not
that
as
one.
good.
No, I didn't like it. I thought it was really stupid.
The Goofy movie is good
the
though.
Second one.
Did I ever tell you guys about the time I went to Fenway with my best man? What day it was? What they were celebrating at Fenway?
Oh, what?
So my best man and I go to Fenway, and because we we're Red Sox fans, we want to go hang out. So we go hang out. I noticed there's a certain rainbow flag flying over the stadium.
I was actually gonna say that,
and it was
Pride Day.
It was Pride Day, yeah. And I don't have a problem with any of that, but it was just we were best friends, super close, and it was kind of awkward because every other
the kiss
male
came on.
like, we were waiting for it, thinking like, how do we get out of this?
If that happened to me, I would have kissed him. No doubt. Jumbotron's on the camera's on me in Fenway Park. I would have kissed the guy.
Have you met? Of course, you've both have met Devin. Like, how do you think that would go over?
He'd punch you in the face.
He wouldn't care who I was. Absolutely.
As soon as he got within 3 inches,
he'd hammer fist you. That's what he does. He does the hammer.
What are you freaking doing, man?
What are you freaking doing, man?
Dude, what the freak? What the freak?
I miss that guy.
My
Well,
wife just told me to please stop screaming, so I think this is probably the point in the episode where we need to end.
All right.
uh,
That is fun.
it's a great episode. Another good one. So, ladies and gents, for all those who are listening, please, please, please spread the word about who we are and what we do. We are on Apple Podcasts. We are on Spotify. We are on YouTube. Just look us up at the Under.500 podcast on all three of those pages. You can find us, like and subscribe, tell your friends about us. We also have social media. We have an Instagram and we have a Facebook, also at Under.500 podcast, where we'll post updates on new episodes that are coming. And also you can DM us any questions, topics you'd like us to talk about, feedback. We look forward to that. We like when you guys are talking to us and letting us know what it is that we could talk about or what you like and don't like about us. So please engage with us because I don't know, we like you guys. That's why we do what we do here. And yeah, so we look forward to seeing you guys again or have you guys listen to us again next week. Hope you guys have a good week. And gents, Eric, Tyler, another good episode in.
All right, boys. That was good.
All
See ya.
right. Peace out. See you guys.
Later.